Hello friends and potential friends. Well, back in the kitchen. It's kind of a rare occurrence for me this time of year. I don't normally do a lot of baking because, well, it's nearly 90 outside and this kitchen is not air conditioned. But I received a gift from a couple of friends of mine recently that calls for an exception to that rule about cooking in the summer. And this, I'm going to make a pretty simple little recipe, basically buttermilk biscuits. To do this, I've got 6 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I need 3 cups of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of salt, and in the refrigerator I've got 12 tablespoons of butter. I cut the butter up into small chunks, put it back in the refrigerator so it'll stay nice and cold until it goes into the mix. So I'm going to start off by mixing the dry ingredients. And I'm going to put all 6 cups of flour in there and all the other goodies. Put that down and we'll let it get mixed up good. While that's mixing, I need to go ahead and pull the butter out because that's the next thing to go in. And as you can see, I did cut the butter up into pretty small chunks. Basically, I want it to be mixed through the flour, but I don't want it to be melted when it goes into the biscuits. So we will just make sure that's mixed up good. And then we'll add in the butter. And then give it a little bit more mixing. You don't want to mix this too much because you don't want to melt that butter. Just want chunks of butter spread throughout the flour mix. That's mixed up pretty good. So now we need to add about 3 cups of buttermilk. There's 1. There's 2. And let's see what that's going to look like. Basically, you want the dough to be just slightly sticky. That buttermilk in there. Looks like that's going to turn out just about right. Make sure everything gets mixed in good. Make sure there's no flour on the bottom in here. And while that's continuing to mix a little bit, this is the fun part. I get to make a mess. Okay, that is looking pretty good. Might need a little bit more flour to thicken that up. It is still slightly sticky, but everything seems to be mixed in well. So let's go ahead and pour it out here and see what we got. We'll be putting a little bit more flour into it as I need it and roll it. Yeah, still a little bit sticky. But we will take care of that. Incidentally, one of the secrets to this, in order to get your biscuits to kind of break apart in layers, is you just keep folding this over and over and over. Each time you fold it, it gets just a little bit of the flour in between the two layers of the fold, and that will create the layers in the biscuits. I need to get this just a little bit less sticky. Now we start rolling it out and see what we got. And you may be able to see the little bits of butter in there, because they have not melted yet, and I've been trying to go pretty quick to make sure they don't melt during the kneading process. Still got some a little bit too sticky down there. Roll it out till it's about a ½ inch thick. Some of this is the butter. It's starting to soften. Then take whatever kind of cutter you have. I just use a lid and cut out your biscuits. Meanwhile, I've got the oven preheating to 400 degrees. And when I get this ready, it'll go into the oven for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to have a little bit more than I had planned on. So I may have to grab another baking pan. And now we gather up all our scraps. Roll them out one more time. And continue making biscuits. Okay, timer just went off after 20 minutes and looks like they're about ready. Now I'm going to have to move you a little bit to get at the bottom tray. So let's move you out here a little bit. These ones don't brown quite so well. I'm going to leave them in there for a few more minutes. But the ones on top turned out pretty good. Don't those look good? Nice and flaky. They didn't rise as well as I'd hoped, but they still look good. So that's it. So simple, even I can do it. And I'll see you next time.